Hello and welcome to Smile and Spread a Little Joy. I am smiling today because I have a power couple on today, and they have been together, known each other for 41 years. You know, between the marriage and knowing each other, it's been 41 years. And me, I need to get some tips from them because I know it hasn't all been easy. And a lot of times we paint this picture of everything being perfect for 41 years, but no. And I'm getting so carried away. I'm Deborah, the Smile Lady, and we were all born to smile, and that's support, motivate, invest, love, and educate. And now we're going to educate, we're going to support on how we can get people to be married more than 15 minutes. I mean, some marriages, what, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 years is called a long marriage now, you know. You can't even get vested. I think you're vested in a corporation after 10 years. I don't think most of us last 10 years. So it's an honor and a privilege for me to have Mr. and Mrs. Lett, Gary and Lisha Lett, on the show to talk about their relationship specifically. I know I had Gary on talking about his art, but he has a beautiful piece of artwork sitting next to him right now that we're going to talk about. So anyway, without any further ado, with a smile, let's do some art in marriage. I love this. Thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to this. I was so impressed with you and how you and your wife met. I'm talking about it like she's not sitting right over here next to you. But that encouraged me because I love her. When I see you two together, I just love that. And I believe, guess what? I know this ain't a secret, but you wouldn't be as good as you are if you didn't have that queen next to you. Amen. And we got to debate that hot. And yes. Welcome.
Thank you, Deborah.
I'm so honored because I know it took me a long time to get you in this hot seat. Now, I'm going to start with Queen. And what is it that you love doing, Lisha? I'm saying it right, right? Mm-hmm. Lisha?
Lisha.
That you would do it even if you didn't get paid.
Teaching.
Teaching.
Yes, and just distributing wisdom.
Okay, and that is teaching.
And that's teaching. Even as a young girl, when my cousins, we would all get together and play house, I had to be the mother because the mom ran things. The mom was in charge while the dad was away. So I love helping give information that helps others. Mm-hmm. And when I was young working, they used to call me E.F. Hutton because I didn't talk all the time to people when I was working. But they said when I did, everybody listened. Mm-hmm. So I was gifted in the area of being able to disseminate information and articulate myself in a way that people could listen to me even when I was telling them something that they might not necessarily want to hear.
And so do you play chess?
Play chess?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, in the game of chess, the queen got the most moves. Mm-hmm. The queen does all the work, and the king sits there and go boop, 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 boop. But when the king is in checkmate, the game is over.
Right.
But the queen could get captured, and the game still goes on. So you are that queen in the game of chess. You're doing all of that to protect that king. Because I truly believe that the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. Now, King.
Yes.
King. Oh, did you see that? He didn't hesitate. He didn't say who you talking to.
No, he knows his title.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. You call. What do you love? I know I asked this before, but everybody didn't see the show before, or you know, now they're going to look at part 1 and then part 2. But tell them again what you love doing so much you do it even if you didn't get paid.
I'm passionate about the visual arts.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, you make a good power couple. Go ahead.
I love to sculpt, draw, paint, anything that has to do with being creative. Mm-hmm. That's my passion.
I see you love beauty.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you picked that flower well, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
And you know what? I call artist God's photographer. Because whatever is in that head that God gave him, it comes out on that paper, and that's the original camera.
Yes.
And then they designed the cameras and all of that and the computers off the human brain, but they didn't ask me my opinion. I'd be a millionaire. But that's God's photographer. God's photographer and then a teacher here. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the crux of the matter, which is marriage. Now, I know nowadays people get married and a year later or 5 years later, like there's some power couples right now after 21 years, 27 years, you know, getting divorced. But you've lasted, how long have you been married? And then
39.
And then you've known each other 2 years before that, right?
Yes.
So 41 years together. Tell me the secret. Which one want to go first? E.F. Hutton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say the main ingredient is communication.
Oh, tell that again.
Communication.
Did you communicate differently at first?
Yes. I was a talker. He was a shutdown. So I had to learn how to break down his wall in a good way to help him understand me. And I had to learn that every time I wanted to talk, sometimes I needed to listen. And I had to learn how to not turn him off to want to talk when I needed him to listen to me. And I'll say the second one is friendship. A lot of people don't marry their friends. They marry a sex mate, they marry a one-night stand, they marry somebody that they don't really know. But I married my best friend, and he continues to be my best friend.
Okay, that is good. Now, I know you have how many children?
2 sons.
2 sons. And how long after the marriage did the sons come along?
We had a honeymoon baby, all right?
Immediately.
Immediately. They thought I had the flu. He took me to the emergency room. I was sick. We thought I had the flu, went back to work, thought I had the flu, but it was a older lady that worked on the job, and her name was Ruth. And she said, I'm going to tell you, your flu is going to be a baby. So she was right. You know, they say the old folks. So she was right. And then my mother-in-law, about a couple of weeks later, said I was pregnant. I was like, no. So, but sure enough, he took me to the emergency room the second time, and
you were pregnant?
I was pregnant.
So how many years between the first son and the second son?
2.5.
Uh-oh. Y'all go. Let's get this out the way quick. Okay. So, not only were you were 2 years before the children when you got married, you know, so you had kind of like maybe 3 years together. So now you had to learn how to communicate as parents and agree on the raising of the children. How did that work? Because I know that book, and I truly believe this. Men are from Mars and women from Venus, and we talk and we think speaking the same language, and we're not, and you don't understand me. This is clear to me. It ain't clear to me. So I think that's where a lot of marriages break up, because they don't learn the communication style. So how did 41 years? That's a lot of time. You know, they were 40 years in the wilderness. Was that Moses? 40 days and 40 nights in the ark? 40 seems to be that good number there. So did you ever think of, come on, give me some imperfect stuff. Did you ever think about, like, you know what, I'm out of here?
Oh, yeah, after probably maybe about a year and 7 months into the marriage, I can't remember what he did, but he made me so mad, and I went and packed his stuff.
To the left, to the left.
Yes, I did. He went off, and, you know, because we were used to going everywhere together. You know, the baby comes, and he gets to go off by himself. So he went off. He came back one day. I packed his stuff. We made up, and I said, okay, you need to put your stuff back in the closet. He said, I didn't pack it.
Uh-oh.
So he made me put it back. And so that taught me not to pack the stuff unless you really. I was sending a message that I didn't want to be left alone, but you know, I got creative. You know, like he would say, "Okay, I'm getting ready to go. I know you got to pack the baby's bag." I fixed that. I bought a second diaper bag and kept it ready. So the next time he said, "Well, I'm getting ready to go, but I know you got to pack Benson's bag." I said, "Oh, we ready too. I got a bag right here."
Good. We got to get creative. I think they miss a lot of the clues and the cues. I use this term "boo-boo the clown." Sometimes I'm boo-boo the clown when it comes to, you know, picking up these messages that men send. But what do you wish that we were clearer about or not clear about? Come on now, tell me. Men, don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at him. You know?
Well, I've never had that question asked, so now I have to think for a second. I think for the most part, Lisha she's clear. She's direct, but I have my own agenda often, okay? And oftentimes it may not involve her, but she wants to be involved. No.
Forgive me.
Yeah, I mean, because she mentioned I would want to go off. I used to love to play table tennis.
Okay.
And me and my...
Forgive me.
So,
and he cool about it too. Let me think about that for a minute.
yeah, no. But she would want to go, but it was only a game for two. We didn't have fours, you know, and so I could be gone for a couple hours easily, you know, and leave her there and a couple nights a week. And it really didn't sit well.
You go like this.
You know,
He didn't really get it, did he?
No, he didn't. He was like, "I'm just playing tennis."
okay.
You know, he was gone with a neighbor. And
I don't mean to laugh. It is cute. I just love you. But it proves my point.
Yeah.
He didn't think nothing was wrong with it, huh?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I had no reason to be offended or upset.
Okay.
None.
So how did you work through that?
Well,
See, too much about Quisha and me. Look, you take that. And that's why mine didn't last.
the gentleman that he went with, I knew him. He was a neighbor. I knew his mom and his sisters. And after a while, they knew I was there by myself, so they would invite me to come over after a while. So I would sit with them sometimes. And, you know, I had our son. Sometimes I didn't even want to take him out, even though it was next door. But, you know, I start crocheting. I crochet.
Oh, okay.
So I start keeping myself busy while he was gone. So
You know who another person on his fourth marriage? Satchmo. Was it Louis Armstrong?
Louis.
Okay. His wife was smart enough to, since she was the fourth wife, he had a lot of money by then. He said, "Where you want to live?" She said, "I'm not going to live anywhere where you leave off and I'm up here by myself." Because he was gone like, out of the 365 in his book, he was gone like 360. You know, he was just on the road constantly. So she said, "I want a house near my family and friends. So when you're gone, I can keep busy and socialize and this and that and the other." And she had him, every time he came home, it was like Christmas. She made him a man cave. She did this. She would have this done. And all her friends and stuff would come over and they would have these parties. But that's the key. Like you say, you keep busy while he's gone, and pretty soon he's going to want to hang around and say, "Oh, Lord, what you doing? Dang, you seem kind of happy when I leave." When you leave and go on to play your little thing, because we got, you know, this thing to do. So that is good. And I love your neighbors, how they invited you. So, but it's just funny. Sorry you got two women teaming up on you.
All right.
You know what? Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. He's a brave soul here. Okay. No, it was cute because I've run into that situation when they come home. I said, "You really don't see nothing wrong with it?" He said, "No, what?" So that's the problem. I said, that's the problem. But you being the personality you are, the balance to that was good. So did you ever have a problem with any communication with her? Like you said, she was pretty clear.
Yes.
You were the one that was secretive and evasive and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. So as far as your honeymoons, do you still date? Give me some tips. I need some tips.
Yeah, we're constantly on the go.
Okay.
Constantly.
You don't leave her home now and say, I'll be back, though, right?
No, no more.
Learn your little lesson up. Let me fan you.
No more packed bags. No.
Can she look at your text messages?
Oh, she knows the code to my phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm an open book.
okay, good. You learn well. You so brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
You smarter than I thought you were.
They say happy wife, happy home.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I say too. That we got that on agreement. I didn't mean for this to be. It just hit a nerve. It's because it's the same thing.
Across the
Almost
board.
the same thing that I've said. And it's like, wow. Somebody else goes through that too, and the communication, they go through that too. And I was like, I don't feel woohoo, anymore. I just have more of an excitable personality.
Well, you're hosting this show. That says a lot.
Okay.
You know, all the different personalities that you come across yearly, and to be able to get along with people, to size us up. And we did not script this interview.
Oh, of course not. I never liked scripted interviews.
And so therefore, you have the ability, your NIA's kicking in.
Oh, purpose. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. And that's my favorite day in in Kwanzaa.
Yeah, you just know the right questions to ask, and that's just remarkable.
And I know you as a teacher, because even when I first met you, I think I first met you at a fundraiser. And
it was at an art show.
Yes, an art show.
Right.
And she was like the Vanna White. She made Vanna White look sick. And she was just like, and she was kind of showing around, and I looked at you two, and I said, okay, these two are like H2O, and they kind of they would be good without each other, but they complement each other, pretty well. And I saw that then, and your art was just so, like the hands. I fell in love with the hands, and I told you I still have that hand.
You have that hand.
I still have that hand at home. I love that because it's hard to draw hands. I think that's one of the
hands
and
and
eyes.
feet.
Hands and feet.
Feet, yes.
Yeah, and you are good with those hands.
I love hands.
Okay.
Because without hands, we're so limited. So,
And I love it. I need to take a picture of y'all holding hands. You just better keep it like that. I'm getting ready to do one of these numbers. I've been noticing this the whole time they've been sitting here. That's another key touch.
Yes.
So, so go ahead. Hands, go ahead.
Yes.
Hands.
Without hands, we are very limited.
Uh-huh.
I've only came across one individual that I saw able to work with the feet. Paint and everything. Matter of fact, I think they even drove a vehicle
With their feet?
with the feet.
Oh, wow.
Of course, a custom designed car, but still with the feet. Yeah. And so, those of us who have studied the Bible, it says God made man in his image. And, of course, the Almighty can speak and something can be made, but when we think about making, it involves the hands. Even the human touch. I mean, there's just so much to touching someone. This right here, so expressive.
And I just loved it the whole time. See, I'm not manicured too. Is she all manicured and stuff? Look all beautiful. Hands all. I'm just complimenting you.
Always. But
always. Isn't that so beautiful?
You said something about the hands. Now, I do a lot of painting.
Keep it.
Right? On different art pieces. I was doing a lot of Black Americana, and it required a special touch. And she had not really painted on anything, and I said, you can paint these. She said, well, what makes you say that? I said, because the way you paint your fingernails and you don't have the paint all on your cuticles.
Like me.
Oh, I said, you can do something. And she did. And so, yeah, her
I gotta
hands
come
are
to
always.
one of your art classes because you do the
Paint and sip, yes.
And you see my logo is hands.
That's beautiful.
I've always fell in love with hands. Hands that rock the cradle, hand to rule the hands and the touch. And back in the day, that was forbidden to touch because of everything that happened. You know, old school.
Right.
Oh, don't go near Uncle Bubba. Yo, Lord have mercy. You had to stay up. Get away. You couldn't go to a certain side of the room because of the touch.
Right.
That you really didn't, your parents didn't hug you enough for you to know the difference between a good touch and a bad touch.
Right.
And that should be all the time what I'm seeing here with you two holding hands and stuff like that. But right now, we have a few minutes, and I want each one of you to give that key to marriage or relationships and the struggles. Because like you say, I'm glad you did say you got mad one day and da-da-da-da-da and such, and you had to work through the communication as parents and communication as a husband and wife and constantly date each other. So I'll let the king go first this time since you went first in the opening. Right. And you look in your camera there.
Oh, marriage. That's the word, marriage. It's not dating, it's a marriage. And marriage to me is a bond. It's a bond, it's a commitment that we made in front of other people. And it is something that we have worked at continuously. And we both are from the Judeo-Christian background. And so we really lived by those principles. And like it was stated, it has not always been easy. But just like a person that wants to get strong, you have to lift up something heavy in order to become strong. And so our struggles, that's the heaviness that we go through. And so we really try to live towards the higher principles of spirituality. Yes, our bodies are physical. We know when there's physical pain, but the greatest experience we can have is to reach that we cannot physically see, and that's the spiritual man that's inside of each and every one of us, given to us by the Almighty Creator. And He has been our guide and our director, and I trust that He will continue to be that for us.
Was there a lot of compromise going on? You had to compromise a lot? Oh, compromise, y'all. Put that in your Hooked on Phonics dictionary. Compromise, collaboration, connection. Now you, Queen, speak into that camera and talk about from the woman's perspective what you need to do for a healthy, long-lasting relationship.
I love this man. And his mother birthed him just for me. In a marriage, you have to know that that's the only person for you. No matter if you go to the supermarket, if you see a judge, the president, it doesn't matter. The king of your castle should be your king no matter where you are. And people should know that you have a king in your life. And another thing I learned from my mother is you have good, you have bad days, and that's gonna always be. Life is not peaches and creams always, but we've had more cream than sour, no question. But number one, ladies, never talk about the man that you lay down with in public. Always keep his trust. Always let him know that he can depend on you and you be in his corner, always. And even with your children, you may have to someday support your husband to your children, especially if you have sons. But let them know that you would want them to be the man that their father is. And you would want them to supersede him because they've already learned from him, and then it's more for them to even learn. So my suggestion is always respect your husband at all times.
Wow.
And he will in turn love you.
You know what? I am so full. This blessed me even more than I thought. I have this saying that women, quit calling your man a dog, because who do dogs get with? If you're calling your man a dog, he ain't with a cat, he ain't with a bird. You calling yourself a bee with a itch, right? Now, I'm telling you this right now, that this is a couple that's been together 41 years, and two black people, black couple raised kids together. He ain't up there in Europe somewhere sending child support. They raise these children together. You can crossfade with us. They raise these children together. I've never, in 3 generations, there's been no men in my life, you know, you know, to help me raise the kids. And that's why this is important. Just because I couldn't do it doesn't mean that I can't strive to teach other people and have positive role models. I want people that have been married 30, 40, 50 years to come and tell us how to do it. The ones that don't know how, woohoo, to do it, you know. And maybe we thought it was impossible because we never seen it before. And maybe the men that are with us, they think they're doing something right, but they don't even know how to be in a relationship. There's men that need to teach them that. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So on this is still a smile, y'all. Just because I'm the smile lady, don't think everything's funny. And tears are cleansing just as laughter is. And you two have blessed me so much. Really, really. And I've wanted this, and you guys just really, girl, what you said. Don't talk about your man in public. Stand by him. I saw you even welting up saying, I love this man so much. You were almost there, but you were cool enough to keep it back. Shoot, I got raccoon eyes or whatever. But I'm really loving that. So anyway, whew, we can almost do part 2. Shoot. I think you two should come on and do a husband and wife series. And I don't think we talk enough about, you know, you don't have the daughters. I told my girls, I'm scared of boy mamas, sis, so they wouldn't have dated your son. Girl, I'm scared of boy mamas. But we don't teach them, okay, you know, the girl gonna have maybe a certain time of the month where you probably need to go fishing, and then the vice versa. We don't tell them that part before they get married. And I think we should be real with them and say, this happens, and girls are moody, and one day you say something to her, she laughs, and the next day you say the same thing, she may cry, you know. And that's the hormones, that's this. And then they look at you like, woohoo, she crazy, I'm out of here. As opposed to saying, oh, like you packed his bag, but then when he told you to unpack them, I didn't put them in there, you did. You know, those things we need to stand up and teach early. So I know they probably done turned this camera off way a long time ago, but y'all need to come over and give me, wait, during our art class, we can have a little backup.
A little session.
We can have a session on relationships.
Right.
You could come be the teacher, the relationship teacher. You know, we could draw something. Now. So yeah, so good. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you for agreeing for this.
Thank you
It
for
really
inviting
blessed
Yeah.
me. And I bet you didn't even hear it from her passionately like she just said that, did you?
Oh,
You almost teared up when she said that.
that's powerful. That's powerful. You know, she just
I saw 'em.
expressed some things that we have gone through as of late.